Hola and welcome to Hola America TV on WQPT, your PBS station. Thank you for joining us once again as we explore the sights and sounds of the Hispanic community here in the Midwest. My name is Natalie Zeroni. I'm a reporter for CBS 4 News here in the Quad Cities and also your host. Originally born in Aguascalientes, Mexico, Rod Montoya immigrated with his family as a baby to Los Angeles. He then moved to Columbus Junction, Iowa when he was in 4th grade. Montoya has been wrestling since he was just 5 years old and has continued all the way through Columbus Junction High School. Now, he's a professional MMA fighter and the subject of a 4-part documentary by local MMA journalists Cunningham and Jeremy Dorsey. They're here today to give us a preview of the latest chapter in their series. As always, we invite you to join the conversation on our Facebook page, Hola America News, or on Twitter. There you'll find more pictures, extended interviews, and more exclusive material. But now, here is a look at part 1 of the 4-part documentary, 4 Till Bellator, featuring MMA professional fighter from Columbus Junction, Iowa, Rod Montoya.
So many people go their whole life without knowing or without at least trying something because they're afraid to fail, you know, and it's like, I don't want to be that person, you know. I don't want to be 45 or 50 and be like, man, what if I would have done this when I was 20 or 25 or whatever. That way I know, no matter what happens, I want to know that I did everything I possibly could to be the best I could. And at the end of the day, I'll be happy with that, whatever the results are.
Today we have with us here today Jeremy Dorsey and Cunningham, the filmmakers of this 4-part documentary. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for being with us today. And please tell me, what is the 4 Till Bellator project?
The 4 Till Bellator project is our first attempt as the Kick and Makeup company that we have, a weekly MMA show, of doing a documentary on following a local fighter the 4 weeks up to his fight, and we chose Rod Montoya from Militich Fighting Systems, and that's why we called it 4 Till Bellator. It's the 4 weeks till his fight in Bellator. And so, I mean, I'm sure you have the opportunities to meet a lot of fighters. Why Rod Montoya? Why did you choose him as your subject? I think we chose Rod because once we met him, and I've met him a few years ago, he was very gracious in helping us out with anything we needed. And so we knew that in choosing him, he was probably going to let us do that again. And we've been overwhelmed with how open he's been to following him around. And like I said, it's called 4 Till Bellator. It's a very busy 4 weeks before you fight. He's fighting on Spike. So it's nationally televised, and he's letting us come in and invade his space with family and friends and everything, and so it's working out really well.
And I think that's one of the things that's, you know, really evident when you see the first episode is that, you know, this guy is really allowing us, you know, and he knows us, but he doesn't know us, you know, tons, just to let us be involved in, you know, every aspect of his life. And, you know, we're following his family around, we're following him around, you know, we're going back to his hometown and seeing everything and the people that he, you know, grew up with. It's, you know, today, you know, we were there at 4 a.m., you know, to film him and see, you know, what his wake up routine is. So, you know, just for him to be able to, you know, feel comfortable enough with us and, you know, allow us to invade his life like he has, you know, it's awesome. And it's just, you know, so much credit goes to him for even allowing us to be able to do this.
Yeah, it sounds like you have to really get into his daily routine in order to make a documentary like this. And Nick, I know you've been the sports editor for Hola America for many years. You've interviewed some of the biggest stars in the sport. Is there anyone that you're still looking forward to talk to that you haven't yet?
I think Dana White would be who I still strive to get that one-on-one face-to-face interview with. He took the sport of MMA to levels where I don't think 10 years ago anybody thought it was even capable of going. So I know a lot of people usually say the fighters, but I'm more interested in seeing, you know, where his head was at 10 years ago and how he took this little company and just blew it up to, you know, one of the biggest sports. So I think it had to be Dana White.
So for those of us who aren't familiar,
he's the president of UFC. So UFC, to people that don't know, is the NFL of fighting, the top level of MMA in the world. So he's the president of the biggest company.
And, you know, Rod Montoya came out of Eastern Iowa, and I have heard of different, you know, fighters coming out of it. Why is Eastern Iowa such a mecca for these MMA fighters?
I think Jeremy and I would both agree that, I mean, being around the Quad Cities, it's the work ethic that, and the drive that you see in Eastern Iowa and Western Illinois. Just the grind, the daily grind, and like Rod is a perfect example of somebody that has a full-time job but still trains full-time and has a fiance and is doing anything and everything to fill his day up. So I think it's just something that the Quad Cities in Iowa has, that work and drive that you're going to see in this documentary too, of how hard he's worked for this fight.
And the second part of this documentary premieres tonight at 7 o'clock, but you brought us a special sneak peek, so let's see it. Well, thank you guys so much. That's very compelling. Can't wait to watch. And Jeremy, I know that this is your first time editing a documentary, right?
Yes, yes.
So what has been the most challenging aspect of that?
Oh man, a lot of planning, went into place with me and Nick, before we started doing this. But, sort of having those ideas in your head and how you want to shoot a scene, and then actually applying that, when you're with Rod, or when you're with his family, or when you're watching him training, and then from there being able to take that raw footage and then edit it down into something that's only a few minutes long, or you might be with him for 6-7 hours and you only get 10 minutes of footage out of that. So it's kind of crazy when you sit back and you have to spend hour after hour trying to get things perfect. But the lack of sleep can be bad at times, but I think it's all worth it in the end. And I've been a big fan of sports documentaries my whole life, and watched them before boxing fights, watched them before MMA events, everything. But I never would have thought that I would have the opportunity to actually do one myself, and now that I do have that opportunity, I'm definitely taking advantage of it.
Cool, cool. And do you guys have any other projects in the works? I mean, tell us a little about your show and what else you're doing. Right,
so we have the Kick and Make Up MMA show, which is a weekly show that we do, summing up the week in MMA, previewing events to come. And like I said, we go to these events and try to get as much coverage of fighter interviews and just anything from the fight game. So we don't have a project coming up, but we do have our weekly show. And we were just talking today too of what is going to be our next project. And we really are trying to, we like this four till something series. And really, like I said, with this documentary, you don't have to be a fight fan to enjoy the documentary. And that's what we were wanting to prove, that, anybody, if you never heard of MMA, we think that if you watch the documentary, you'll enjoy it. And so that's kind of what we've got going on now.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they still think of fighting as this barbaric sport, which, it is a blood sport, and it is something that a lot of people may shy away from. But behind those barbarians are real people, and that's what we strive to do with the Four Till Bellator documentary, is show that there are real people, and they're just like us. They have families, they have friends, they have regular day jobs, and that's what we wanted to show, is that it's all of that, everything combined, that makes this person a fighter. And I think that we did a really good job with encapsulating that with our Four Till Bellator documentary.
So it's kind of showing the human side of the sport. Mm-hmm. And if people are interested in seeing your videos and interviews, how can they do that?
Yeah, we've got a couple avenues that they can do. www.kickandmakeup.com is our website, and we have everything from even my Hola America articles archived there to any of the interview series, interviews that we've done with fighters from the UFC, Bellator, local. And so we've also got a Facebook group page, which if you just go to Facebook and search Kick and Makeup and invite yourself into the group, we let you right in, and we do polls and predictions and things like that too. And also you can get a hold of us through our Gmail account, kickandmakeup@gmail. So got a few avenues. I think I hit them all.
We have a YouTube channel. You can search for Kick and Makeup on YouTube. We have a Ustream channel, which we use when we do our live shows. So you can search for us on ustream.tv as well.
Well, it sounds like you guys are organized and moving forward, and I look forward to seeing the next part in the documentary. So thank you guys so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Let's Fiesta. West Music, along with the Iowa Senior Human Resources Association, were the host of the Let's Fiesta celebration at the West Music headquarters in Coralville, Iowa. Hispanic and Latino business professionals from the area participated in the celebration in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. All the persons present were serenaded by Mariachi Femenil Las Torcasitas. Las Torcasitas is a mariachi troupe that consists mainly of female musicians originally from the state of Guadalajara, Mexico, that now reside in Des Moines, Iowa. The Mexican consulate out of Chicago made their annual visit to the city of Moline. The consulate was able to expedite over 1,200 passports and matricular cards to Mexican nationals. Hola America has been organizing these annual visits over the past decade with the support of local financial institutions. These visits over the years have saved thousands of people the need to travel to the city of Chicago to expedite this document. The new Consul General hopes that in the near future the process will be faster and more effective. There are over 3 million Mexican nationals residing in the area in the Midwest that corresponds to the Mexican consulate in Chicago. The area consists of Illinois and parts of Indiana and Wisconsin. Last Saturday, September 14th, Augustana College students, staff, faculty, and community leaders were on hand for the ribbon cutting of their new Center for Student Life. The CSL is also an integrative center that brings together functions that are crucial to the life of the college, the library, the student center, student support services, and the dining center. It is a destination that centers the students' out-of-classroom experiences, learning, social interaction, reflection, and recreation in a single building. The vision for the Center for Student Life was derived from the Agora of ancient Greece, which was a multifunctional gathering place where living, communication, commerce, politics, and philosophy flourished. It functioned as an integrative center for activities that were crucial for the Greek way of life.
Don't forget to tune into our YouTube page for everything you saw in this news brief, plus some extended video from Hola America TV. You can also contact us on Facebook and Twitter under Hola America News. Next up is the Que Pasa calendar, a community calendar where you'll find the latest cultural events for you and your family to enjoy this week.
Sunday, October 13th. Ice Cream Social at the Quad Cities Botanical Center from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Ice cream, kid activities, and more. General admission prices: adults $6, seniors $5, youth 6 to 15 years old $4, children 2 to 5 years old $2, children under 2 and members of the Quad Cities Botanical Center free. Gather your family and friends for a family fiesta at the new Girl Scouts Program Center, probably the only youth program center in the area with a slide from the second to the first floor. The afternoon is filled with family fun activities including performances by Quad City Ballet Folklorico, piñatas, a bounce house, games, food, and refreshments. The Greater Quad Cities Hispanic Chamber of Commerce ambassadors are the goodwill arm of our organization. Hispanic Chamber ambassadors, embajadores, are charged with extending the hand of friendship to new, current, and future members alike. The newly formed Hispanic Chamber Ambassadors is a group of members that participate in ribbon cuttings, inaugurations, and all type of celebrations from the Hispanic Chamber members. The group is led by the Hispanic Chamber's Program Manager, Zenaida Landeros. They have already participated in many ribbon cuttings in the last couple months and would like to extend an invitation to all current and future members to form part of this fun group and to let us know of your next celebration. For more information, you can call the Chamber at 309-797-8650 or visit their website at www.gqchcc.com.
Joining us now is Zenaida Landeros, Program Manager for the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Zenaida, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Natalie.
So tell us, what is the Hispanic Chamber?
The Hispanic Chamber is a nonprofit organization that supports and promotes local businesses within the greater Quad City area. In addition, we provide programming and multicultural networking events to promote our Hispanic cultural identity. Our organization is driven by our board of directors and volunteers and our ambassadors.
So what is the ambassador program?
The ambassador program is an initiative to help support and promote local businesses within our community. We have 10 highly motivated ambassadors in our program that attend ribbon cuttings and Hispanic Chamber events, and they are there to provide a lending hand to new, future, and current members within our membership.
So what other events does the Hispanic Chamber have coming up?
Well, actually we have our ribbon cutting coming up on October 26th. It's for Ray's Barber College in Moline. So the public is welcome to join us. We also have our multicultural mixer, which is just an event that provides a space for community members and Hispanic Chamber businesses to network and hand out business cards, and just a time to connect with other Hispanic Chamber members and friends.
Just a time to get to know each other too, right?
Yes.
All right, and if people want to find out more about the Hispanic Chamber, how can they do that?
You can check out our website, www.gqchcc.com, or you can give us a call at the office.
And what's the office number?
It's 309-797-8650, and we're located in downtown Moline.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you.
It's time to say goodbye for tonight, but we would love to hear from you. So don't forget to connect with us through our Facebook page, Hola America News, or on Facebook or Twitter at #Hola America TV. And if you missed any of our previous shows, you can catch them on our YouTube channel, Hola America TV. And don't forget to tune in next week when we'll continue our journey of the sights and sounds of the Hispanic community here in the Midwest. Muchas gracias y buenas noches.